Hello, welcome back to the next episode of this. This is going to be another fight analysis between two robots from Superheavyweight Slaughter 2025. The last one I did was from Middleweight Mayhem 2021, so there's about 4 years between that and this. A lot of us changed in that 4 years. We're going to be taking a look at Eclipse in the red corner from Team Pilot Light. Both of these robots are 4-wheel drive vertical spinners, just a different flavor of that. Eclipse is I would say a little bit of a wedge foot. The weapon is further back in the chassis. There are feeder blades going up to it. It's a very stable vertical spinner. 4-wheel drive drives really nice. It has flywheels in the chassis as well for inertia cancel. In the blue corner there is Shem made by Team Night Party, also known as Me. Shem is an overhang vert. It doesn't really have any type of feeder blades like Eclipse does. It just has stabilizer forks that make sure that I don't do a front flip every time I hit anything. It also has the bigger diameter in this fight and an asymmetrical weapon. Asymmetrical weapons are not as good in Besiege as in real life, but they are very cool. So if you build them, thumbs up, keep doing it. So let's just get started with our fight. The fight is gonna start in a couple of seconds. The arena has just started. So let's see. Fight starting. I spin up a little bit earlier than he does, and right away there's a good first hit by him. Removing this purple blade, it's going flying right there. So that hit is very good for him. My purple blades are really not for wedging. It's literally only to stop my bot from front flipping if I hit somebody, and that's going to make it a bit harder for me to land a good hit. Because if I were to hit somebody with a weapon spinning like this, it's gonna force my bot into the ground this way. However, if my bot is this long on the right and this long on the left, there's a gap here, so it's gonna lean towards that gap. It's gonna try to lean towards the left side. The right side wheels are going to lift off the ground. Left side might stay on the ground, might also lift off the ground, depending on how big the hit is, but losing that stabilizer very early is not a good thing for Shem at all in this fight. And that's a good follow-up shot. Both of us kind of recoil from that. I go further back. There's another decent hit, and there's the first big shot for Shem taking off grappler armor. And right there, he also got a really good shot on me. I wanna get a replay of that. As you can see, my bot goes off balance, and he just comes in and hits right here. He hit, I believe, that plow exactly. That's why that hit did not a lot of damage, because he hit that plow directly, and plows are really good at absorbing that damage. They're one big solid hitbox, so you have to break what's behind the plow to break the plow. The plows themselves are completely invincible. He has this really good hit on me, and I go flying through the air upside down, landing directly on his wedge. I take a blade off, and there we go. That's, as you can see, that is the second stabilizer, so I'm down 2 stabilizers. And this one also lost a spin block. So my forks on Shem are 2 spin blocks into 1 blade, the outer ones. The other one still has both spin blocks. This one has only 1 spin block. So now if I get a big hit, since my bot is shorter on the right side now, it's gonna lean towards the right side a little bit only, because it's only 1 spin block. It's not as long as a blade, but it's still going to be felt when there is a big hit. Okay, let's continue. He gets another follow-up shot here, and as you can see, he is staying very planted to the floor. I'm trying to self right here. The Shem is a very difficult bot to self right, and I would like to mention something here. So he is coming right here. The bouncer is going to activate when a bot goes over it. There's a trigger that activates the bouncer, and it is triggered by other robots, or any object really that goes over the bouncer here. So he's coming from this direction. The bouncer is going to be throwing me somewhere into this space over here, because I'm off angle, as you can see as well. So here, bouncer throwing me this way, and what's going to happen is, when the bouncer fires, he just completely misses me. So what I would have done is I would have come like this and then parked right about here. Because yes, Shem weapon is very big, but it's very narrow as well. So I would have had about this much to hit before making contact with Shem as a weapon. I understand why he went here. It's the safer play to do. The bouncer can do a lot of wild things. It can take weapons, it can take drive, it can break a lot of things that you wouldn't expect to break. This way, it could have been also the risk of me going in a much more uncontrolled manner off of the bouncer. So if I were to fly off and angle towards him, I would have basically gotten hit like a horizontal spinner on his entire front, and obviously he doesn't really want that. This is not an anti-horizontal setup, and there's a really good hit into this left side of him right here. You can see it. This side is wobbling. I see that in the fight as well. So I have my camera set up in a way where I'm looking sharp down from here. So it's nearly a top-down view, but not quite fully a top-down view. I could see that this left side here was a little bit broken, and I was like, okay, so if I keep hitting here, that's going to be very good for me, because some people might not notice, blades are shockingly good at deflecting spinner hits. They're very fragile, obviously. They're blades. They're not the strongest connections. However, if you have a smooth surface like this, and you're coming in with a spinner without getting underneath it, you either have to out-wedge the blade with your spinner, or have something that gets underneath the blade, or else the blades are going to do a very, very good job at deflecting that weapon. It's happened way back in 2021 with me as well. I was driving a horizontal spinner named Firebird, and that robot had a fight against something that only had a massive front face, full face blade wedge, and even though I was a horizontal spinner, the blades just kept deflecting me completely, and I couldn't do anything. So blades can absolutely deflect spinners, but they're not, their main use is not to do that. So I sense that corner is weak. I take longer to recover. I'm going for the other corner as well, and there's another hit to that left side. And that bounce over there, that was exactly because of what I mentioned about my stabilizers missing. So if my stabilizers are missing and I hit something with this, the bot would go into the ground, right? On the front, so here. But if there's nothing here, what's going to happen? Well, these plows, they might be stiff, but if the bot leans forward at all, it's not just straight down, it's leaning forward, because the weapon is in front of the plows. It's leaning forward. If it leans forward ever so slightly, the weapon of Shem is touching the ground when it's fully up to speed. It's a ground scraping weapon, we call it. And if it hits anything like that, it starts to lean. It's also a little bit of biasing in the counter gyros to have only a little bit of lean towards the front. That only means that my counter gyros are not cancelling out all the torque created by the weapon. So if I'm spinning my weapon up, let's say this way, I'm gonna spin my counter gyros this way. Because if I spin up this way, it's going to create torque the opposite way, and the counter gyros will create torque opposite to the torque of the weapon this way. So this makes my bot lean forward, and this makes my bot lean backwards. Front bias means that there's more of this going on. So my counter gyros are weaker than my weapon in terms of speed. That really only means one thing. By default, my robot leans slightly forwards, so it's not perfectly level when the weapon is spinning at full speed. That right there on that hit that you just saw resulted in me leaning forward, hitting the ground, and bouncing off of the ground into the wall. And now he has a really good chance to capitalize here. And he does, but he himself also leans forward. I want to see a replay of that hit. He catches the plow, doesn't get a really big bite, and then his bot also goes up in the air and starts leaning forward. Right there. And as he's leaning forward, my bot starts falling forwards precisely due to that front bias that I just mentioned. basically swiping across his entire bot and launching him and myself. I also have to self right here. And I did, but he's out trading me there, and he's already back on me. He recovers much faster than me. Now I'm trying to angle for that left corner again, but it's very difficult. Team Pilot Light they have a very good driver, so it's not going to be easy to hit that corner, but I do get that hit on that corner, and exactly what I mean. There's just big open space here with nothing covering the chassis like on the right side. Flywheel weapons are the most dangerous when they're hitting exposed chassis. That could be true for any weapon, honestly, but it's even more pronounced with flywheel weapons. So if I keep hitting here, eventually it's going to break something. Either the mounts on the motor, you can't really see it, the entire bot is black. Either the mounts here or the chassis underneath it, something is going to break. And it also gives me a lot of space to just throw him. Because this deflects, this really doesn't. And now I have to self-right again, and he gets one of my rear deals here, which is a very big advantage for him. Both of our weapons are still spinning at full speed. And right there, I do a bit of a sweep across his entire front. I turn my second and I hit basically all across his weapon motors. So I'm going to use Shem's weapon motors as an explanation here. So I'm coming in this way, and at last second I come like this, and I deliver one bigger hit here and then multiple smaller hits all over here. This is a good move here, I would say. Both of us have been thrown backwards, but I can recover in time. He gets the angle, he launches me here again. Now both of us have to self-right again. He self-rights faster, but he has taken some damage from that sweeping hit. We can see, I believe, on his weapon motor there are missing hinges. There are hinges that are broken. Not hinges, sorry, axles. Now he's trapped between the corner and the bouncer. It's a very dangerous place to be trapped against a bot like Shem. And there's a very big hit there. And he lands on his weapon and his weapon breaks. That's the big thing about flywheel weapons. They really don't like hitting the floor or the yellow bumpers in the arena or anything really at full speed. And I believe he lost the second wheel on landing. There's a big toss into that corner, and yeah, the second wheel comes off. Third wheel rather comes off on that big hit. I throw his weapon bar out of the arena because I know I'm not going to throw this match. Pretty much anything can happen, and this would be a win for Shem. But he was doing a very good job at out trading me and finding the angles that he needed to find. It's just a bit unfortunate for him that his weapon just decided to give up on that hit. But to be fair, his motors have taken quite a lot of hits from Shem. And for Shem, I don't think any of my motors broke. My motor guards did a very good job at protecting those. And that pretty much is the fight. As you can see, the count out has ended and Shem wins this fight by knockout. So what happens here? Well, basically, Shem very unstable compared to Eclipse. Compared to other big overhang verts, I would say Shem is pretty stable. But compared to a vert that's built to be super planted, feeder wedge, get under, get big hits, it's not very stable. I was in the air for most of the first half of this fight, but I managed to recover. I managed to land a couple of good shots, and that bar spinner on my bot did its job really well. Big asim bar hits pretty hard, so I think I wanted to show this fight because I think I did pretty alright in this. This was on American server. Team Pilot Light is British and yours truly is Hungarian, so both of us had about 200-ish ping, a little less probably, but luckily both of us are pretty okay at driving on ping. We kind of have to when you're in Europe. Most of the hosts are American. There are a few people in Europe also who can record fights for tournaments, but not very often that it happens. It is what it is. I think it was a good fight. I think it's a fight worth showing. Not as in-depth, I believe, as the last time I looked at a fight, but I think there's still a lot of very interesting things to learn from this. So, there might be another one coming sometime soon, who knows. I think that should do it for this fight analysis. I don't really have the time to make any fancy intros or outros, so if you enjoyed it, then wait patiently for the next one. And yeah, just enjoyable day. See you whenever. Goodbye.